Hello folks, and welcome back to another episode of Case for DGS2. I went that in backwards, but whatever, it's the same idea. So we were in the process of doing one of the deduction theaters, the logic reasoning, joint reasoning stuff. Sherlock has already made his little, his claims and his deductions, so now we have to, slowly redirect his logic, because it is a thing this time around. Topic 1, the gentleman's identity. For starters, this man is clearly a German who doesn't understand English. The song he's singing is in German, and he continues even when everyone around him tells him to stop. So, what is this gentleman doing singing so cheerfully in someone else's sitting room in the first place? Iris, I believe you know the reason for this. Yes, the answer is at the end of that cute gaze of yours. This slightly irritating singing clearly has something to do with the herb tea. So, he's instinctively started singing due to the fragrance of the tea? I might like to try some of that tea myself. I'd love to hear you sing, Susato-san. Aww! But, more importantly, how long does this gentleman intend to keep singing? He hasn't moved at all, though, and if you look closely, his mouth isn't moving either. Oh. Where could the loud singing really be coming from? The answer is at the other end of Iris-sama's gaze. Gee, I wonder what it is first. We know this mask. Oh, you're right. Which means... No, it can't be. Is this man actually... Really, Naruhodō? That's the one person he obviously couldn't be, no matter how you look at him. Honestly, I'm more disappointed in Susato and not recognizing her own dad! I guess you're right. That's a huge relief. But what's this mask doing here, then? I'm afraid I can't even begin to guess. Herb tea. It's true the teacup is completely empty. I guess this mysterious gentleman drained it dry. Iris-sama's fragrant tea is incredibly soothing. I can certainly understand someone wanting to let out a hum of satisfaction after taking a sip. You've been known to laugh loudly after drinking some of Iris-sama's tea yourself, Naruhodō-sama. I better be careful the next time I drink tea. Alright, so... Are we examining or are we presenting this? Okay, we're examining it first. This is a... It's a gramophone. They're still uncommon in our country. I believe I hear it coming from there. A machine that sings? That's against the rules. Naruhodō! Perhaps the progression of scientific investigation will bring us a new history of rule breaking. That's pretty deep. In any case, I believe we found our answer. This slightly irritating singing clearly has something to do with the gramophone. Wait! No self-respecting adult would play German music in someone else's sitting room! In other words, the singing isn't coming from this gentleman, but more importantly, this gentleman seems to be completely unconscious. It sounds like the record just finished playing. Mr. Naruhodō. Yes? Why do I own this nonsensical German record? How should I know? And then the music goes back in. Anyway, that leads us to our next problem. Who is this lazily lounging gentleman anyway? Actually, several years ago, I received a request from a certain German gentleman to solve a rather difficult case. He wished for me to retrieve a letter that could cause history to crumble. In order to hide his noble identity, the gentleman wore the very same mask he does today. His name was William Gottschalk Sigismund von Ornstein. And he was the King of Germany. If my memory isn't mistaken, this is the very mask he wore last time as well. Indeed, there is no doubt this mask belongs to the King of Germany. It actually ended up being Bohemia, not Germany, though. Anyway, he seems determined to force his way through this with Germany. Come to think of it, that prince was wearing one too. A mask, I mean. Oh, Gatsama? The one you made cry? Did you have to put it like that? Perhaps it's normal for powerful people in Europe to wear a mask. I'm sure you're right, not that I know for sure. Anyway, this mask doesn't belong to a king. Yes, we ought to know. We know exactly who the owner of the mask is. Oh, okay, I guess we're picking the person. Let's go! Boom! Indeed, there's no doubt this mask belongs to Asogi Kazuma. In other words, my memory can't be counted on. That's not something to brag about. Asogi's mask used to be sitting on top of this metal box. The reason it's now on that gentleman is a mystery, though. It would be incredibly easy to find out who he really is. After all, the man is unconscious. Pardon me, sir. Let's have a look under the mask, shall we? They could have just done this the whole time, but no, Sherlock just wanted to do a deduction. No way. Father! Mr. Sato, are you? Not a chance. Not one. It seems that logic and deduction have led us to a conclusion. The true identity of this mysterious gentleman is my unconscious father, Mikotoba Yuujin. But why did we need to go through that? Why didn't you recognize it's your own dad? I can't help feeling like logic and deduction didn't actually do anything here. The masked gentleman is Mikotoba Yuujin. What is this joint reasoning? What the hell? The girl's silence. Now, the next mystery is... Yes, it's you, Iris. That unnatural silence. Aha! You just glanced at it. You just glanced at the reason for it. Yes, the reason for your silence is hidden inside your rucksack. Is that a 5-pound note peeking out of her backpack? Most money comes in the form of coins. True. I feel like I have yet to see any bills. But my father isn't the type to buy silence with money. I mean, the man himself has been dead silent this whole time. Reason for Iris-chan's silence must be something else. The thing on the other end of Iris-sama's gaze, perhaps. It has a completely different meaning. Come to think of it, Iris-chan always wears this little backpack, doesn't she? Yes, we've always seen her with it, so it's easy to forget about, but this backpack actually has little dolls attached to it. Oh, I had no idea. I never even noticed them before. Are you gonna tell me next that this backpack actually has a 5-pound note sticking out of it all of this time? All the time? I can't say so with certainty, but I don't believe so. Oh? This iron box contains Home-sama's. Yes, apparently the records of his old cases are in there. In the form of memos that Iris-chan's father left, as I recall. It's locked, and no matter how many times I ask, she won't let me see what's inside. It's Iris-sama's treasure, after all. However, at the moment, the lock on the box appears to be unlocked. Oh, she's right. I'm really curious. Yes, so am I. I've never seen this box unlocked before. Yes, the reason for your silence is hidden inside this iron box. After all, if you look closely at it, there's obviously something different about it today. The normally tightly closed lock is not locked. It seems safe to assume that this has something to do with your silence. Well, it would be incredibly easy to confirm. Uh-oh. All I'd have to do is open the box and look inside. Oh, no. Oh. Now then, pardon me. Homesy, you mustn't open it! Well, I think... Home-san! Everyone is screaming Homesy! But also, I think we seem to have figured out what happened. He's dead. He's not dead! Aw, that's exactly why I told you not to open it. I notice you're talking now, Iris-chan. Oh. Hello. Which means, as of this moment, we should be able to know for sure the true reason behind your silence before. And that's... We're just rolling this without Sherlock Holmes, aren't we? Yes! Something about this feels different from usual, doesn't it? Well, Home-san is out cold, so I think that's unavoidable. Anyway, let's hurry up and find the answer, for my sake. I'm not a big fan of silence. Was the reason for your finger pointing not because you found the answer? Susato-san, sometimes a man just has to point at something, even though his mind is completely blank. I don't really understand, but I see. Let's observe Iris-sama carefully one more time. Hello! This is a key. I feel like she wasn't holding this a moment ago. Yes, you're right. It seems to have appeared there suddenly. As far as I can tell, it's a large, old metal key. Where the heck did it come from? So, when I played this originally, I accidentally presented her skirt, so I'm gonna do that again. The reason for your silence is hiding under your poofy skirt. It's pretty poofy, so it's capable of hiding a big secret. That answer is pretty sloppy, just like you, Mr. Naruhodō. What was that for, Susato-san? I just thought I'd try imitating Home-sama. That's true. That was a stinging reply, just like the ones Home-san makes. Oh, and don't forget this. I don't think you have to imitate him that closely. I feel like this is our first time hearing Iris-sama's voice in a while. It was all thanks to Home-san being sent flying. In that case, if you were being sent flying, Naruhodō-sama, perhaps she'd speak some more. I feel like Iris-chan moved at that second. Let's have a good and close look at her as we can without being rude. You're already being rude, Naruhodō-sama. Okay, now we can present the key. Hopefully I get it this time. Yeah. The real reason for your silence is this key. Ah! When Home-san was sent flying a moment ago, that's when you suddenly took something out of your mouth. It was that key. I bet it goes to the metal box, doesn't it?
I should have known. I should have known you figured it out, Naruhodō-kun.
In any case, thanks to Home-san, we now know for sure what exactly happened in this room.
Well...
Professor Mikotoba opened that box and was sent flying. Just like that. However, that doesn't explain everything. For example, this stylish stole and this dry cup. Nor why he's wearing Kazuma-sama's mask. I think everything got flipped off the table? There's one answer to all that. An unbelievable miracle occurred in this room. Isn't that right, Iris-chan? Please think back to how it looked before the painful accident occurred. The moment Professor Mikotoba opened the lid to this metal box, the mask, which was sent flying, just happened to land on Professor Mikotoba's face. The cup, which had also been sent flying, got caught on his finger.
So then, this stylish stole.
It's a tablecloth. This is a room where miracles happen, thanks to the famous detective's deduction. What? It's not surprising that this thing's happened, but also, wait. There's suddenly a bunch of text that I don't remember being here, but I think this is saying, and this has been Naruhodo's, I don't know. Let me see. Okay, I guess it is. It's not surprising that things like this happen. Okay. I'm sorry, I ruined that whole scenic moment, okay, but I just got really confused by the script.
Yes, it all happened just as you said, Naruhodō-kun. You really are something.
And this has been Naruhodō Ryūnosuke's famous deduction. This child! He did his own joint reasoning without Sherlock Holmes! Oh, he's gone so far!
Anyway, I'll go make some hot tea, okay?
That was a rather impressive bit of deduction, but it would seem your final blow was too soft, Mr. Naruhodo. Home-san, think back on my previous deduction. Iris, you're hiding something very important right now, aren't you? Hiding something? As far as I can tell from Iris' reaction, it looks like she was able to keep one secret. In that case, shall we blurt it out loud and proud once more? You were trying to sneak off with that coffee cup. Nope. I think there was something under the tray.
Home-sama's coffee cup. It has indeed been destroyed.
I mean, it was sent flying when Professor Mikotoba opened the lid to the metal box, after all.
Oh, so many unfortunate things happened here.
In any case, thanks to us changing the route of the deduction, Iris-chan isn't trying to hide the coffee cup anymore.
Which means that Iris-sama's secret is something else.
Let's observe the situation one last time. Hello? Huh? She seems to have some sort of document under there. Was she trying to sneak off with it hidden under this tray?
This is the seal. It seems to be an official Scotland Yard record.
Huh? But what's she doing with something like that?
I believe we'll have to ask Iris-sama herself.
A Scotland Yard case record, huh? You were trying to sneak off with that case file. Iris, you know, right? A great detective's eyes never misses a thing. Earlier today, we paid a visit to the yard's forensic pathology lab. That's when we heard from Dr. Goulinay that Lord Crimmett Van Zeek's autopsy report had vanished. Lord Crimmett Van Zeek's! I just so happened to remember that. Several years ago, I had her show me that document. You were there too, weren't you, Iris? No way! Iris-chan! Is that case record?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry!
She was trying to hide the case file. That explains a lot of things and why she ran off! Ooh, okay, we're gonna go really over, but we are almost done with this case, so we're just gonna go super over to finish this. To be honest, I trusted myself to be able to tell a spring-loaded box when I saw one. But that was a pretty good wallop it gave me. Talk about the adventure of the dying detective.
I'm sorry, Holmesy.
So then, does that mean that this autopsy report really is...
I took it. I knew it was important.
Was there something written in it that bothered you?
It wasn't so much something that bothered me as... I found him, see? When I saw the handwriting on the record, I found Papa.
Papa? You mean yours?
What do you mean by the handwriting?
Iris-chan? Is it hard for her to talk about for some reason? Pardon me for interrupting your conversation, folks, but... What is it, Holmes-san? This unconscious gentleman seems to have been forgotten.
Oh! Father!
Susato! Now, why don't we allow him to rest while he has a chance? Mr. Naruhodō! Yes. Would you mind lending him your bed? We can let this gentleman sleep there. I'll help you carry him.
As will I.
I can handle it by myself. You lot just enjoy your tea. I'd hate for the herb tea Iris worked so hard on to go cold. Professor Mikotoba is leaving, being dragged away. Holmes-san, I wonder, did he leave on purpose so it would be easier for Iris-chan to talk to us?
I think we ought to have our conversation while he's gone.
Our conversation with Iris-sama. Iris's papa. Iris-chan, would you mind telling us about your papa?
I told you before, right? That my papa was Holmesy's partner, I mean.
He left the records of the cases they solved together in that metal box, correct?
Yeah, Holmesy told me that. He said that he was far away and that's why I couldn't see him.
Far away, huh?
So I secretly opened the box and read over the case files inside. I imagine a lot of different things about my papa.
That makes sense. You're a normal girl, after all. And a prodigy.
The record said he was a medical doctor, so I studied hard and became one too.
That makes sense. I'm afraid that goes above and beyond normal.
But, see, there was one thing I still didn't know. And that was my papa's name.
His name?
The only thing missing from the records my papa left me was his own name. It wasn't in them anywhere. But...
Wait, so then... Are you saying you figured it out after seeing this autopsy report?
Yep.
Based on the handwriting this report was written in, huh? Same handwriting as the writings in the case files then, I'm assuming. The autopsy report.
When I saw the handwriting on the autopsy report, I was so surprised. I knew I'd seen it somewhere before.
You mean the handwriting in the records your father left you?
That's right. I had to compare it side by side with my papa's records. So I tried asking the doctor, but she said no one was allowed to borrow them. Not only that, but that this was the first and last time she could ever show us the record.
So you snuck off with it?
When I compared it to the records Papa left, I knew. The handwriting on the autopsy report and the handwriting on Papa's records were the same.
The autopsy report is signed by the coroner who performed the procedure. And that was Dr. John H. Watson, right?
That's when I finally found out. My papa's name.
I see.
From that day forward, I became Iris Watson. And I thought up a good idea. The stories about the cases Holmesy and my papa, Dr. Watson, worked on together. I decided I would start writing the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
I had no idea those stories were so significant. I'm sure that Iris-chan, this autopsy report, is such an important clue that she was willing to steal it in order to obtain it. I'm sorry, Iris. It's my fault you had to do such a thing.
Holmesy.
I promised that I'd keep the truth about your papa a secret until the time was right to tell you about him.
Yeah, I know. I was a bad girl. I'll go return the autopsy report to Dr. Gulinay and apologize.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
In that case, we'll be borrowing this for just a little while.
Are we returning it? Are we making a copy? Clint's autopsy report. The autopsy report of the final victim in the professor's murders. It was filled out by Dr. John H. Watson. Well, while she's dotting, let's look at this case file. Okay. The surgeon was John H. Watson. The victim, Crimmett Van Zeeks, age 33, male, English. Estimated time of death, May 31st, between 9 a.m. and 12 midnight. Investigative observation. Cause of death is a single pierce to the heart with a sword. Likely some sort of duel took place, as there are several shallow injuries on the body. Remarks. A fresh scarlet ink stain was found on the right pinky and right finger, but there were no documents found on his desk. Autopsy observation. An extremely important foreign object was discovered in the victim's stomach during the autopsy. This is the clue that Detective Gregson, who insisted on having the autopsy performed, was talking about. Additionally, there was not a single other wound anywhere inside the body. We can conclude that there's nothing out of the ordinary. Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna go tend to my herbs for a bit, okay? I'll see you later.
Iris-chan. She must be lonely. Even though she's got home-san.
Oh! What on earth? What is the meaning of this, Home-sama?
Home-san? What? Oh dear. I guess you must have noticed.
What? Then... No, it can't be.
What is it, Susato-san? You look really startled.
This is the autopsy report that was filled out 10 years ago. However, the handwriting on this record isn't Dr. Watson's.
Huh? How do you know?
Trust me, I know. After all, this handwriting belongs to my dad, Mikotoba Yuujin.
What? Professor Mikotoba? Huh? Excuse me? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're exactly right, folks. No, wait! I have no idea what this is supposed to mean. What the heck is the meaning of this, Home-san? Even as I said that, inside my head, a fearsome possibility had already formed. Home-san, could you tell us more about this? Yes, please, tell us. The handwriting on the record. So the handwriting on this record belongs to Professor Mikotoba. But shouldn't that be impossible? It's not, though. Think about it calmly.
Yes, actually, this could be considered, in a sense, very obvious.
Obvious?
10 years ago, my father returned to Japan from the Great British Empire.
What had Dr. Mikotoba been doing at the time? And where? Oh, he'd been an assistant at Dr. Watson's lab, studying forensic pathology. Assistants help a head coroner during an autopsy and record their opinions. They compile it into a document known as an autopsy report. And finally, the coroner checks the contents and signs off on it. And then it's finished.
In other words, the only thing here that Dr. Watson wrote was the signature at the bottom.
I see. So that's why Iris-chan got the wrong idea. She looked at the handwriting on the record and assumed that John H. Watson had written it all. So Iris's dad may not be Watson at all?
It's completely understandable.
This is kinda weird. Also, what does this imply at this point? Crimin's autopsy report, filled out by Professor Mikotoba while Dr. J. Watson performed the procedure. Watson signed the finishing report. The famous detective's partner. Come to think of it, we don't know anything about Holmes-san except for what's written in the stories.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, written by Iris-sama.
Which means we don't know which events written in those stories are true and which are made up. Quite puzzling, isn't it, folks? You had a partner. Was that part true? Oh, questioning the very basics, are we?
Did you?
Yes, I believe Iris wrote it at some point, but there's but one person I consider my best friend, and that's him.
And that partner recorded your activities and preserved them in that metal box. Is that true?
Susato's just like, is this really happening? Yes, no mistake there, Miss Susato. So then, where is that partner now? I don't get to see him much these days. After all, he's in a country far away, you see? Oh, Susato's just like, wait, what's happening? The handwriting in his autopsy report and the records of your cases are the same. And if the handwriting in this autopsy report belongs to your partner, then there's only one conclusion I can draw. Let's hear it then. Your partner's name is Mikotoba Yuujin, which means he's Susato-san's father. Mr. Naruhodō. Yes? It seems that you finally understand. A little thing we like to call logic. So then, I was right. Allow me to introduce you folks to my best friend and partner, Mikotoba. Professor Mikotoba. Wow, he got down here really quick. Also, now that we've confirmed that Mikotoba is actually Holmes' partner, consider how he's dressed and how he appears. It's really funny. My friend was actually going through my stream, and she actually confused Mikotoba for Watson at one point, and I had to keep my mouth shut the whole time. But I'm like, that was intentional. That design was entirely intentional for Mikotoba. Holmes and Mikotoba.
So, that means my father is the real Dr. Watson?
No, I'm me. Mikotoba, your dad.
Oh!
Susato-san is so shocked, she seems a little confused. I'd be a little flustered too.
In any case, I never would have dreamed that my friend from back then would end up becoming a world-famous great detective. There's no greater mystery than that.
Our meeting was unforgettable. Wait, huh? When was it again?
It was 16 years ago, Holmes.
Right, that's it!
I was here studying abroad with Jigoku and Asogi, and was searching for lodgings I could commute to the hospital from.
But rent can be rather pricey in that area.
Indeed, so I found myself in need of a roommate I could split the rent costs with. That's when I was introduced to this man.
I was still a novice at the time. I fooled around in the hospital research lab doing half-hearted research.
After that, the two of us ended up pursuing numerous cases together. Looking back on it now, it was only a mere 6 years.
During that final year, that incident happened. You two already know about that. The professor murders.
After the trial was over, Jigoku and I had to return to Japan.
Well, that makes sense. Well, that's the story. All our memories from back then are inside that metal box. My god. Professor Mikotoba really was Holmes-san's partner. The twist! Holmes' partner never died! But also now things are a little weird because what the heck with Iris?
Father.
What is it, Susato? That's quite a fearsome expression.
I'm proud of you for being the great partner who supported the great detective. However, there's one other thing. One other mystery I must ask you about.
What might that be?
Naturally. I'm referring to Iris-sama's father.
Oh, good point.
I had a feeling you might ask that.
Mikotoba! Mikotoba! Iris's papa.
Iris-sama stated the following. She said the one who wrote the records of the great detective in the metal box was her father. Isn't that right, Holmes-sama?
Precisely. That's what I told Iris.
If the one who wrote those records was your father, was you, father, then that means that Iris-sama's father is you.
Ah.
Miss Susato. It seems you have a strong understanding, just as I knew you did, of that little thing we like to call logic. Why are you not answering, Mikotoba?
16 years ago, my mom died giving birth to me, and you left me with grandmother and went to study abroad in the Great British Empire. I have no issue with that. However, as for the business with Iris-sama...
There it is. Susato-san's frigid glare.
No, it wasn't like that. There's more to this than you realize. No. You're completely, and totally mistaken.
In that case, you will answer my question.
There it is. The burning stare that follows the frigid one.
Like I said, you have the wrong idea. Holmes, I beg you, say something.
Just answer the question! That's enough, folks! Or not. Holmes-san, when the heck did he... Actually, when did he get all that stuff on? His coat and everything. I hate to interrupt you in the middle of your enjoyable conversation, but... Mikotoba and I need to be heading out.
The sun is about to finish setting. Where on earth are you off to?
I should think it would be obvious. I'm going to solve a case with my friend here. Yes, just like the old days. Come, get your coat, Mikotoba. This song!
But Holmes, I owe Susato a proper explanation.
There'll be time for that later. The carriage is already waiting.
You never change, do you, Holmes? Today, for the first time in 10 years, I visit our home and am suddenly filled with nostalgia. And for some reason, my memories grow fuzzy around the time when I tried to open that metal box. And no sooner have I regained consciousness than 10 minutes later, this happens.
Father, please, go ahead and go with Holmes-sama.
Huh?
I'm sure there must have been extenuating circumstances at play. I trust you, Father.
Susato.
Being able to see off the great detective and his partner. I'm so lucky.
Oh, Susato, your dad's the partner to Holmes. I would be so happy too.
I understand. We'll talk about this later.
It seems that this does it for your investigation for today. I wish you good luck tomorrow.
I'll be praying for your good luck and for your decision, Naruhodō-kun.
My decision about returning to Japan, huh?
今日はあまりにもいろいろなことが起こりすぎた。しかし後になって僕たちは知ることになる。その混乱の中にこそ全ての真実を知るために必要な手がかりがあったのだと。そして僕自身が覚悟を決めるためにもそれは必要なことだったのかもしれない。
That's it. That's the end. That is the end of Case 4. We are here at the grand finale. Case 5 is the last thing waiting for us. Okay, no, there's actually like a DLC, but the main story is about to come to an end. Oh, yes, we are very over, but as you can see, there really wasn't that much left, so we're like, might as well get it done with. So yes, we are done! So the next time you guys see this, we'll be starting up case 5 in the last part of this case, of this trial. Ooh! We all better prepare some popcorn for this. So I'll see you guys then!